Hello and welcome back to a relaxing Sunday evening stream. Tonight we are going to be flying the JustFlight Fokker F28-1000 in the Air Niugini livery. This is a historic livery. We're going to be doing a flight across Papua New Guinea from Port Moresby over to Goroka. Going to do something a little bit different. We're going to stick with the spirit of this aircraft. We're not going to boot up the FMS today. We are just going to go VOR to VOR. So pretty direct route. Our first VOR is directly off the field. We're going to follow that over to the November Zulu VOR. And then from there, right straight into Goroka and hope that everything is clear enough for us to be vectored in and get a nice visual on the approach. So I've already loaded up, got sim brief is all done and taken care of. I am going to be running say intentions, which we shall see. It's not going to like Goroka is a one way in, one way out airstrip. So you're always landing to the north regardless of the winds, and I'm not sure what the weather is going to do to us today, so we'll use that as long as it works, and if it starts getting a little angry with us, then we'll just shut it off and do what we want to do. But in any case, we'll go ahead and get in the aircraft here. We have it set for a cold and dark start, so everything is off. Bear with me with the screen a little bit. I've just redone how I do all of my views, so it's going to take me a little bit to get the hang of switching back and forth between my views, but we should get there. Did get some nice wing views set up as well. I do have the cabin turned off for this. This plane is just a little bit heavy on frame rates. I don't have a super high-end PC, so it is a little bit taxing on frame rates when I'm streaming. So decided to go ahead and just get rid of the cabin for that, see if that helps out a little bit. I do have some add-on airports, freeware airports that I will put down in the description for both the departure and the arrival. So we'll see what they do. They could make life a whole lot worse. Hopefully we don't get the stutters on descent, making it impossible to land. But we can go ahead and get fired up here. Gonna go through a bit of an abbreviated checklist. We're not going to touch everything, but first thing we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and get Gen 3 is off, and we are going to flip our battery on and get our APU started. So battery is on. Our APU is up and running, so we'll go ahead and get Gen 3 on, turn the bleed air on, and make sure that we are only on the cabin. We'll go ahead and start getting that cooled down. And start our refueling. We'll keep that realistic, and we'll go ahead and get the passengers boarding.
Boarding is complete.
Well, we did instant on the boarding, so I guess that's all taken care of, but we'll wait on the fuel. That was, there we go. All right. Go ahead and arm the emergency lights. We're on Gen 3. CPU is running, bleed air is on. Up there. Go ahead and get our pitos on. Go ahead and pump up to get our hydraulic pressure for our braking system so that we have brakes when we remove the shocks. Go ahead and get our navigation plugged in here. So, our flight plan very simply is we are going to head out of the departure airport. We're going to make a left turn, which there are some DME, there's a DME procedure to leave that basically has some altitude restrictions on the way out, so we'll follow that. After that, we're going to go PY, which is just off the airfield, so we're going to use that just as navigation, and we're going to get on a heading of 345. It's going to be what we follow. Let's go ahead and switch our nav off of GPS and take it onto nav. Heading of 345. Be a heading of 285. All right, so first thing we'll do is hop up and see if we can get our ATIS. So we'll get our radio masters 1 and 2 on, and our ATIS frequency is, let's see, 128.0. That frequency is listed, but it doesn't look like we are actually getting an ATIS on that frequency, so that's something that might not be added in here. Let's go ahead and see if we can pull up a METAR. No weather information is available. All right. let's see, flight information 120.1. Let's try this out. Let's see if this is modeled. Flight Information Services, Air Niugini 1015. Request the altimeter at Port Moresby.
Niugini 1015, Port Moresby, QNH 1011.
1011. All right. Well, that did work. Very nice. Go ahead and get that set. 011. Set that on the rest of them. All right, let's go ahead and get our clearance now. We'll see everything is going to go as filed. So, let's see here. We do not have a clearance, so we'll go over to ground on 121.7. Pretty slow to turn. Working on some of my Mobi flight settings for this. Use one of the standard sim bars for the output, so Port Moresby ground, Air Niugini 1015, request IFR clearance to Goroka. And that's exactly, so it's actually on 0705. There we go. Port Moresby ground, Air Niugini 1015, request IFR clearance to Goroka. And it still says I'm on 705. Try that. Port Moresby ground, Air Niugini 1015, request IFR clearance to Goroka.
I'm working on that clearance. Stand by.
All right, we got it that time.
Niugini 1015, information current. Cleared to Goroka. After departure, fly radar vectors PY, then as filed. Departure runway 14 left. Initial climb to 4,000. Departure on 125.8. Squawk 4443.
Cleared to Goroka after departure, radar vectors to Papa Yankee, then as filed. Departure runway 14 left, initial climb to 4,000. Departure on 125.8, squawk 4443. Air Niugini 1015.
Niugini 1015. Read back correct. Ground will be on 121.7.
All right, so we'll set 4,000. We will get 4443 in the box here. that on and get into mode Charlie. All right, so our clearance is good. We're going to be on runway 14 left, so we'll go ahead and plug that into the heading. Go out of here in heading mode. And we've got 1117 our nav. We'll go ahead and get this turned on as well. 13.9 is our second. That is November Zulu. Altimeters are set. 2 to set. We'll go ahead and bring our vertical speed up to about 1500. Vertical speed mode. How are we doing on fuel? Refueling is complete. All right, so we are good to go. Everything is all closed up and locked up. Go ahead and pull the chocks. APU is running. We are not on ground power. Pumps. Normal flaps are up. Flaps 11 takeoff. Consider speed bugs. 11 pitch is set. Go ahead and get our nav lights on. Port Moresby ground, Air Niugini 1015, request push and start.
Niugini 1015. Contact ground on 121.7 for push and start.
Pretty sure that's where I'm at, but go ahead and click it anyway. Port Moresby ground, Air Niugini 1015, request push and start.
Niugini 1015, push and start approved. Face north.
Push and start approved, face north. Guinea 1015. All right. So we will go ahead. Lights are on, seatbelts are on. Brake is off. I didn't use this, I just used the standard. That's okay. Plenty of space here. off. Parking brake set. Ready for engine start. We're going to start number 1. Fuel on. On. Go ahead and kick off the APU generator. Number 1 is stabilized. Head and head off number 2. Ahead and cut the APU bleed. Here, I'm in the cabin here. About 50 turn. All right. Shouldn't be getting any ice today. Left. Everything looks stable. We are ready to taxi. Lights are on. Lights on. Let's go ahead and get the taxi lights out. Port Moresby ground. Air Niugini 1015 ready to taxi.
Niugini 1015, runway 14 left taxi via Delta and Alpha.
Taxi runway 14 left via Delta Alpha, Guinea 1015. Parking brake is off. Hide this for now. Make sure that we have our steering set. Steering is on. Rudder is not. Rudder is not responding. I wonder why that is. If that has something to do with my key lines. Hydraulics are good. Ah, I know why it is. And it is not the sim's fault. It is my fault. because we have the gust lock still turned on. There we go. They told us to face north. Get our flight director set for 2 degrees up. Seven left. Just double check to see if it goes all the way around here. I think that it does. I haven't flown out of here before. Yes. Okay. One setting that always resets on me, I need to make sure is here. I don't have the detents. Where is it? Interior town complex. Pilot call out. Throttle D10 light. Okay, it is set. That throttle D10 light, it will actually light on the heading right here when you have your power set for takeoff. They are. But are all set. We'll go ahead and get our weather radar on. Get our landing lights on. Strobe. Tune to tower 118.1. Port Moresby Tower, New Guinea 1015, ready for departure 17 left.
Tower, runway 14 left, winds 230 at 3, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, 14 left. You're getting 1015.
Cabin is secured.
Right. We'll take off. Lift dumpers are armed. Thrusters in the takeoff position. Transponders set. Flaps are set to 11. The yaw down on. Here we go.
Power set.
Ooh, really choppy. Really choppy.
Rotate.
Gear up. 10 degrees climb.
Pops up.
1015, contact flight.
Set
Over to
climb level.
departure. Getting 1015. Trim set. Moresby departure, New Guinea 1015 through 2,900 for 4,000.
New Guinea 1015, Jackson's departure identified, good killer afternoon for Moresby QNH 1010.
Alright, so he's going to allow our direct.
Bank angle, bank angle.
Blowing through our altitude. There we go. That wasn't good.
New Guinea 1015, climb flight level 220.
Climb flight level 220, New Guinea 1015. That wasn't great. Continue up, 250.
Contact Moresby Centre on 125.35.
125.35, you're getting 1015. ahead. It's back in heading mode. Why am I going 6,000 feet here? I don't understand what the autopilot is doing. There we go. Let's try this again. Roll. Take it on vertical speed. Automatic. On here. Heading mode. And it's actually starting to pick up the... There we go. Moresby Center, New Guinea 1015 through 9,700 for flight level 200. And there it goes again.
New Guinea 1015, climb flight level 200.
Climb flight level 200, New Guinea 1015. I wonder if I have like I don't understand what is going on here with the autopilot. Alright, we're going to cut that off for right now.
New Guinea 1015, climb flight level 290.
Flight level 290, New Guinea 1015. Alright. Good there. The beam on. Get that tracking.
New Guinea 1015, contact Moresby info on 120.9.
Good Lord have mercy. 120.9 for New Guinea 1015. Moresby info, New Guinea 1015. With you through 15,300 for flight level 290.
New Guinea 1015, Moresby info identified. Hello?
Vertical speed. Way too slow in this.
New Guinea 1015, climb flight level 300.
Climb flight level 300, New Guinea 1015. this down until we get
Guinea 1015, contact Moresby Centre on 125.35.
125.35, you're getting 1015. Now, I think I'm going to try this again. If I click out there to set my radio, that's what does it. That's absolutely what does it. Alright, so I cannot use that. Set my radio. Moresby Center, New Guinea 1015 through 18,300 for flight level 290.
New Guinea 1015, Moresby Centre identified. Good afternoon.
Keeps kicking out on me. Don't understand it, not even a little bit. Contact Moresby info on 120.9. 120.9, or you're getting 1015. This is all over the place. .9 again. All right.
Speed. 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 Speed.
Well, I don't
Speed.
know. I don't seem to be able to get
Speed.
the radio and the autopilot to work
Speed.
at the same time. As soon as
Speed.
I go in to do anything with the radio, the autopilot blanks out and starts putting us in an uncontrolled climb. So I'm not sure. Like I said, I just changed one of my profiles for Moby Flight, so I'm sure that there's something that is wrong in there. But we'll have to figure that out at another time. So what we're going to do is we are just going to forget the radios for right now. We're just going to fly. So we don't end up dying. Let's see. Power settings good. Let's just watch. It comes up to 2,000. And it just wants to start pitching all of a sudden. No idea why that is. Up here. Alright. Autopilot's dead to me. Cups are up. Thrust is set. I think there's just a runaway elevator trim. This is hands off. This is no autopilot, just trimmed out. And it seems to be operating a whole lot better. We go. The autopilot on. Just immediately. Nose up like crazy. Very, very, very straight. Indicated, start heading, see what that does for us. Nope, immediately kicks off. instead of using shortcut for it, let's do that. Heading. Definitely something to do. Why? All right. Well. That's off. A little bit ugly, but we'll make it through it. I have absolutely no idea why the autopilot is acting like that. That is brand new. I've never seen that before. If you have any idea or ever experienced that, let me know, because I stopped doing anything, but it seems like it holds for just a second, then it goes into a real steep climb. Everything kicks off, and I'm not sure. I've never seen it do that. It just starts pitching back. The runaway trim. Well, definitely want to get that figured out. I've never Never had that happen. These are, really easy to hand fly, but I'm sure the passengers are having a blast back there trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Let's get back down. Cruising altitude. If you have any ideas about what might be causing that, please let me know, because that is rather annoying. It just started. The only thing I know of that I really changed was one of my view settings used to be attached to elevator trim, so I'm suspecting that's probably what's going on, but it shouldn't. Cleared everything out, so it should not be affected like that. Well, at least everybody in the back got their money's worth. Do this just for fun now. Everybody can ride in the anti-grav chamber. Got to be something with the trim, right? It's the only thing that makes sense. So I just do nothing. Leave it alone. Pitch, roller active. Just let it sit, and I start climbing. And it's in a steep climb yet again. Don't know. Don't have any idea. Like it works for a minute, and then when it gets an updraft, it just wants to throw it all over the place. It is a little bit bumpy today, but it still shouldn't be overwhelming system like that, I wouldn't think. Miles out. And we're 83 miles from NZ to the runway. 83 miles, so there's, let's see. Our descent just about as we 90. We come over the top of the VOR, we'll start our descent into Goroka. Alright, well, since we know it's not the radio, let me go ahead and tune back in there and see if there's still Moresby info, Air Niugini 1015 through 33,000 for flight level 300.
Niugini 1015, Moresby info identified. Good afternoon.
Well, flying this entire route by hand was not something that I had on the list, but that's okay. See if we can do this one-handed light one up while we're doing this. It's the 80s after all.
Niugini 1015, contact Moresby Center on 119.3.
119.3, Niugini 1015. Moresby Center, Niugini 1015 through flight level 310 for flight level 300.
Niugini 1015, Moresby Center identified. Good afternoon.
Pilot trading cards. No idea what that would be. Pilot trading cards? Sure, I can make some. There's got to be a way to monetize that, right? I would be happy to show you some of the badges if you could actually put on the autopilot, but we are 100% manual today because the autopilot is bugging out, so we are just trying to keep everybody from splatting on the side of a mountain. And we're having some limited success.
Niugini 1015, contact Moresby info on 120.1.
120.1, Niugini 1015. Swear, I don't think they've got the coverage areas exact in this. Keep changing radios. Moresby info, New Guinea 1015, flight level 290.
New Guinea 1015. Moresby info identified. Good afternoon.
Moresby info, New Guinea 1015. We're having some issues with our autopilot we're working on. We'd like a block between flight level 250 and flight level 300 if possible.
New Guinea 1015. Climb flight level 300. Descend flight level 250 when ready.
We'll climb flight level 300, descend 250 when we're ready. Getting 1015. Well, that kind of gave me a block altitude, but not quite. All right, let's see here. Go ahead and get our course set for our next leg, which I believe is 285.
New Guinea 1015. When you're ready, descend. Flight level 260.
Descend flight level 260, New Guinea 1015. We're over top, so we'll go ahead and start our turn. This has been an adventure. Never fails when you go live. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Let's troubleshoot the autopilot on the ground. Lost our altitude too bad. 109.3, New Guinea 1015. Moresby Center, New Guinea 1015, flight level 260.
New Guinea 1015, Moresby Center identified, afternoon, mate.
Okay. Isn't that clever? AI is putting in accents. Yeah, it's got to be something with my views.
New Guinea 1015, contact Moresby info on 120.1.
120.1, New Guinea 1015. Moresby info, New Guinea 1015, flight level 255.
New Guinea 1015, Moresby info, climb flight level 260.
Fine, flight level 260, Guinea 1015. Gonna need to start down soon, so not sure. ATC.
New Guinea 1015, descend altitude 19,000 feet, QNH 1013.
Send flight level 190, New Guinea 1015.
New Guinea 1015, contact Moresby Center on 119.3.
119.3, New Guinea 1015. Back and forth and back and forth. Moresby Center, New Guinea 1015. Flight level 250 for flight level 190.
New Guinea 1015, Moresby Center identified, County.
I'm putting full forward, full down trim. Nose wants to come up. Definitely got something that's not figured correctly there. Figure that out after we get on the ground.
New Guinea 1015, descend altitude 13,000 feet.
Send to 13,000 feet, New Guinea 1015. Beginning 1015 is unable. The RNAV approach requesting vectors to final.
Niugini 1015, turn left heading 215 vectors for the RNAV runway 35 left approach.
Left heading 215, beginning 1015. Moresby Center, you're getting 1015. We'd like the visual approach, runway 35 left.
Niugini 1015, runway 35 left, RNAV approach only available. Expect RNAV runway 35 left approach.
Well, we don't have RNAV, so we're going to have to fade it. Descend to 10,000, beginning 1015.
Niugini 1015, contact Moresby info on 124.9er.
124.9er, Niugini 1015. Come on. 124 decimal. Really hard flying by hand. As a matter of fact, I don't think I need to fly by it, so we're just going to ignore that. Do the iPad visual here. Bearing on. Basically, just right up the valley. Goroka Tower, New Guinea 1015 is 15 miles to the south, inbound to the visual runway 35 left.
Bank angle, bank angle. 2500.
Come through, please take your seats for now.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Cabin is secured for arrival.
Minimums. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Don't float, don't float. We made it. Barely. It looks like I've got some work to do on systems. I've got to figure out what it is that I broke to make the autopilot want to turn into a rocket every time I click a button. That's no good. We'll get it worked out. We'll try it again. The cabins. Oh, it's the vents. I thought that was all baggage cart. They're expecting some people. Get 3 on. Get our
Livery is commanding impulse check.
That was interesting. Why are lift dumpers? Oh, the light's secured. Well, that was not at all what it was supposed to be. But it was fun anyway. We managed to get here. We did it just with a couple of VORs, all hand flying, because the autopilot was broken the entire time. So we had no RNAV, we had no autopilot. ATC was giving us poor directions because it didn't understand that we didn't have RNAV. So we ended up overflying, entering right traffic, and coming into a visual landing in Goroka at a high altitude airport. Managed to keep it on the runway, not smacking too hard. So all in all, any landing you can walk away from is a success. You could reuse the airplane. Perfect. It is just pretty dope. Definitely want to get this working a little bit better because I want to do some more flights out of here. There's quite a few add-on sceneries by a guy named Mountain Air over on Flights MTO. He's done a pile of sceneries for Papua New Guinea, so we're going to experiment a little bit. I'm going to get to work on the autopilot on this, see if I can figure out what is causing those issues. Fuel pumps off. Heaters off. Anti-ice. Turn off. It's all off. Emergency light is off. Take the air off. The generator. The APU shut down. All right, well, if you made it through that cluster, I greatly appreciate it. Let me know if you have ever seen anything like that with the JustFlight F28. I've never had it operate like that. I suspect that it has something to do with the bindings I just did for my views, but we will, as a matter of fact, let's take a look at that real quick. See. Let's see. Search by input. So for the slew, it's set for the slew. I've got it set for custom camera. No, that should not have done anything to that. Custom camera, and that's in slew. Not sure. I'm not sure. So maybe in my MobiPlate profile, I did set up something for the altitude hold that I had not used before. So it's quite possible that that has something to do with it, but not sure. But play around with that a little bit, see if I can get that figured out. Chocks in place. I'll take a look at the airport here. In Goroka, Papua New Guinea. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Definitely let me know if you've ever seen anything like that with the autopilot. I'd be interested to hear. But for now, have a good evening. Enjoy what's left of your weekend.